Okay, so this is a fully working client portal. It has a login system, real data, role-based permissions, a dashboard, forms, everything. And I built this in about 20 minutes using an AI app builder called Softr. But I'm not going to show you how to build it and then call it done, because that's what every other app builder review does. I'm going to open this app as a real client, a different login, different role, and show you that the permissions actually work, the data restrictions actually work, and the whole thing doesn't fall apart the moment a real human tries to use it. Because that's the part nobody shows you. And that's the part that most of these tools completely fail at. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Jake Dawson. I help non-technical business owners use AI and automation to save time and run leaner. And today I want to talk about a problem that I keep seeing coming up again and again. So here's what's been happening. Vibe coding tools, they've made it incredibly easy to build something that looks like an app. The AI generates it in minutes, it looks great in the demo, you feel like a genius, and then you try to hand it to an actual client or a team member and things start breaking. One user can see another user's data, the login system doesn't work right, a simple change breaks something else. And this isn't just my experience. Wiz Research, a serious cybersecurity firm, analyzed thousands of AI app builders and found that 1 in 5 have serious security vulnerabilities. 1 in 5. And the most common cause? Permission and authentication logic that the AI generated and no one ever properly verified. Softr takes a completely different approach, and I'm going to prove that through these 3 things. First, does the AI actually build something complete, not a skeleton that you have to spend another week finishing? Second, does it actually work when a real user logs in, not just when you're the one clicking around? And third, can you run it and change it after launch without needing a developer? So, the first thing I want to test is whether Softr's AI actually builds something that you can hand to a client today, or whether it just gives you a starting point that needs another week of work to finish. Because here's the honest reality with most AI builders. The AI gets you maybe 60 to 70%. It generates pages and it looks impressive. But then you still need to set up the login system yourself, wire up the database yourself, figure out the navigation yourself. It's a scaffold, not an app. So let's see if Softr actually closes that gap. I'm going to use the Generate with AI option and describe a simple client portal for a service business. Clients can log in, see their own projects, submit new requests, and track progress. Plain English, no technical setup. But here's where Softr does something most builders don't. Before it builds a single page, it starts asking me questions. Who needs access to this app? What should each user type be able to see and do? What features does each role need? It's co-creating the spec with me, not just guessing and generating. I'm defining the business logic up front in plain English before anything gets built. So let's build it. Watch this. The user access section. Permissions are already defined before the app even exists. Admins see everything. Clients only see their own data. This is the moment that prevents everything from breaking later. With a vibe coded app, this logic gets written somewhere in the generated code, and you just have to hope that it's right. Here, you can see it, you can read it, and you can change it before a single page is built. Database tables. They're being created automatically. Fields set up with defaults, they're already in place. Pages connected to the right data right from the start. Navigation for desktop and mobile. And over here, the authentication setup, the login system, sign up, forgot password, the scaffolding for all of it's already there. And it generated a theme based on the brand details that I gave it. I can change every bit of this, but the starting point is already real. I mean, just look at that. In about 2 minutes, I have a working app, not a wireframe, not a mock-up, a real database, real pages connected to that data, a navigation structure, and an authentication system ready to go. The 60 to 70% problem that most AI builders leave you with, Softr closes it. And look, it's not instant magic. You'll spend a few minutes mapping your user fields and configuring your user groups after the build, but the structural work, the database, the pages, the navigation, that's all done. You're not starting from scratch on any of it. But here's the question that I actually care about. Does any of this hold up when a real person tries to use it? That's what we're testing next. All right, so let's open the live published app in a completely separate browser, a different email address, and let's see what actually happens. So the login page works, logging in now, and here's what the client sees: their dashboard, their projects, their requests, specifically theirs, not my test records, not another client's data, just what belongs to this account. Now, let's try to break it. I'm going to type the URL of a page that only admins can see directly into the browser. Access denied. So the platform blocked it. That rule I set in the panel, it's being enforced here on the live app with a real user. All right, let me show you one more thing while we're here. So back in the studio, I can set permissions at the block level too. So this block, it's visible to admins only. And this list, filtered to show only the logged in user's own records. Global data restrictions mean that even if someone finds the URL that they shouldn't have, they still can't pull data that doesn't belong to them. You can see all of this visually in the panel at any time. And that's the difference. With a vibe-coded app, that block depends on whether the AI wrote the permission logic correctly. With Softr, the rule lives in a panel I can see and change at any time. Not a generated code that I have to hope is right. The test we just ran isn't a special case. That's just how it works. Now, Softr also has something called a vibe coding block. I want to mention it quickly here because it's relevant. If you need a completely custom interface that Softr's native blocks don't cover, a complex dashboard, a multi-step calculator, you describe it and the AI generates it as a custom component. Here's the key. That component still connects to your real data. It still respects your permission rules, and it still follows your app's theme. So you're not stuck choosing between flexibility and security, you get both. The app doesn't just look like it works, it actually works when a real person logs in. Now, let's talk about what happens after launch. And it's the one thing that really annoys people 6 months after they build something. So let's say you need to change a drop-down label, or update a permission for a new user, or add a column to a data view, for example. With a vibe-coded app, that's another prompt, another round of credits, another moment hoping the AI doesn't break something else while it fixes the thing that you asked for. You built the app, but you don't really own it. The AI does. Every change goes back to the AI. So Softr flips that completely. Everything I built is fully editable right there in the visual editor. I can click on this block, I can change this label, so watch this. Done. No prompt, no credits, no code. So I can change a layout, update a color, add a new blank page, tweak a permission, all of it right there in the editor. And here's the thing that matters for your team. It doesn't have to be you doing this. Your operations manager can do it. Your VA can do it. Your CS can do it. You open the builder, you click on the thing that you want to change, you change it, and that's all. The AI built it, but what it built is yours permanently in an editor that anyone on your team can use. Now, let's talk about automations. So Softr has its own built-in automation engine called Workflows. I'm opening it right now. So right here, this is what it looks like. A form gets submitted, send a confirmation email, notify your team in Slack, update a record. You can add conditions, branching logic, wait steps, API calls, even custom JavaScript or Python if you need it. This isn't a basic automation layer bolted on. It's a proper Zapier or Make replacement built directly into the same platform as your database and your app. So the reason I'm showing you this under the ownership benefit, it's simple. It's one less tool in your stack. For most business workflows, a form gets submitted, send a confirmation email, notify your team in Slack, update a record. So you don't need Zapier or Make. It's already here. The free plan gets you 500 executions a month. The business plan gets you 25,000. So for most internal tools and client portals, that is more than enough. And if you already have Zapier workflows running, Softr still connects to those. It's not an either or. Now, let's talk about the costs, because this is where it gets interesting. How many of you are running this setup right now? Airtable for your database, Zapier for your automations, and something like Lovable every time you need to build or fix something. You're paying for 3 separate tools, and every time something breaks or needs to change, that's more credits on top. Softr replaces all 3. One subscription. The database is in there. The automations are in there. The app builder is in there. And changes don't cost you credits. They're just clicks in the editor. I ran the numbers in my own stack, and when you add up what you're actually paying for Airtable, Zapier, and a vibe coding tool, Softr at $49 or $139 a month isn't just a better tool, it's a cheaper stack. And one more thing worth saying clearly, you own your data. The database Softr built is visual, it's yours, and it's exportable too. If you're using Airtable or Google Sheets as your data source, your data stays in those tools. Softr just builds the app on top. Nothing is locked in a black box. Now, let's talk pricing. There are 4 plans: free, $0, 1 app, 10 users. It's genuinely good for testing. You build the thing, validate it, make sure that it works for your use case before you spend anything. Basic plan is $49 a month, and that gets you 20 users, 50,000 database records, and a custom email sender. For a lot of small operations, this is enough to get started properly. The professional plan is $139 a month, unlimited apps, 100 users, branding removed, and 10,000 workflow executions. This is where most growing businesses and agencies will land. The business plan is $269 a month, 500 users, advanced security, and SSO. So that's single sign-on for teams using enterprise login systems. Now, a few honest things before you pick a plan. The free plan's 500 workflow executions a month is low. Treat it as a testing tier, not a production tier. So once you're running a real app with real users, you'll want to be on basic or above. Softr is also not HIPAA compliant. So if you're in healthcare and need to store patient data, that's a hard stop. This tool isn't built for that. Also, Softr apps work great on mobile. You can install them to your phone's home screen and they feel like a real app. But you can't submit them to the App Store or Google Play as a native app. If that's a requirement for what you're building, that's worth knowing now rather than later. All right, here's my take on Softr. I came into this testing 3 things. Does it build something complete? Does it actually work with real users? And can you run it without a developer? Here's where I landed. On all 3, yes. It's the right tool if you need a portal or internal tool that real people will log into every day. Not something to demo, something to actually use. And if you're an agency building client portals, you can deliver something professional in days on one flat subscription. That changes the economics of what you can offer. And look, it's not for everyone. If you need customer-facing mobile app in the App Store, Softr won't get you there. If you're in healthcare and you need HIPAA compliance, it's not the right fit. But for the use cases it's built for, portals, internal tools, client dashboards, it's the most complete and trustworthy option that I've tested. So there is a link in the description below. It takes you to the co-branded page where you can get free AI credits to start building, plus a version of the client portal I just built so you can remix for your own business. You don't have to start from scratch. Start on that, make it yours, and see how fast you can get something real in front of your clients. Hey, if you found this useful, subscribe. I cover AI automation for business owners every week. If you want some extra help and a place to connect with others who are actually building this stuff too, join our school community. It's where I share the behind the scenes tutorials, I give feedback on your AI setups, and you can hang out with other entrepreneurs going through the same exact journey. It's honestly where most of the real breakthroughs happen. So, what are you going to build with Softr? Drop a comment below, let me know. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I will see you in the next video where we're going to take this even further and dive deep into AI-powered productivity. Just click on the video to my left and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. See you there.